Today I'm going to talk about the basics of a home security system, how they work, what they are, and so on. A lot of people, it's good to get kind of a basic understanding, and a consistent understanding of what a home security system is so that they can best design the system that's going to meet their needs. So as far as a home security system is concerned, what it is, it's a controller that basically has an armed and disarmed state and is looking for signs of an intrusion during the armed state. And so basically it consists of three parts. The first is the controller itself, the brains of the system. There's going to be an input device such as a keypad, and then there's going to be detection equipment that's spread throughout the home, watching the perimeter and the interior areas for any signs of an intrusion. So how it works is you would start out, you would go to your input device, your keypad in this case, and give it a command such as arm the system to away. You punch in your code to show that you were authorized to issue that command, and the system would start counting down, maybe 60 seconds to give you time to leave the house. And then once you opened the door, went out, got in your car, drove away, the system would arm behind you. During that time then, while you're away, the system is just going to be looking for you returning to the home or any other signs of an intrusion. So in this case, let's say that you were returning home. You came in, you opened the door. At that time, the controller is going to get a signal from the garage entry sensor that says that somebody's in the house. It's going to start a 30-second countdown and give you that time to punch in your code. So you'll go to the keypad, you'll press disarm, you'll punch in your 4-digit code, and the system will disarm. In the event that it were perhaps an intruder, what would happen is that they'd still enter the house, but they wouldn't be able to punch in that 4-digit code into the system, and so the 30 seconds would expire and the system would go into alarm. At the moment the system goes into alarm, it's going to then communicate out to a central station that it's in an alarm condition. It's going to send the account number, it's going to send the address, it's going to send the zone that was tripped, and the central station is then going to react based on that. This communication can take place in one of three ways. It can be IP, like over your internet connection. It can be a cellular connection over a wireless network, or it can be over a landline phone line. And when the central station gets this, all that information is going to pop up about the account and so on, and it's going to dial the phone number that you had provided to the central station as the verification phone number. Since most of the alarms end up being false alarms, they like to verify an alarm first to make sure that the police aren't needlessly dispatched. So they'll call the first number on the line and they'll say, hey, we had a garage entry alert or alarm. Is everything okay? Perhaps it was you coming into the house and punched in the code wrong, in which case you'd say, yeah, everything's fine, it's just me. We'd ask you for a password to make sure that you were authorized and that you were who you indeed said you were. You'd give us a password and we'd say thank you very much, have a nice day. There's no dispatch, no problem at all with that. And that's just a normal situation, a normal day in the life of a central station, I guess. If you did not answer the phone, we would go to the next verification number on the phone and try that number. If they got to the end of the list and nobody answered the phone, there would be a dispatch. That dispatch would then go to the police department. They'd tell them, the address, the name of the people who live there, the zone that tripped, and the police would go and check things out. That's basically how things work as far as an alarm system is concerned. The details lie in how you design the system, what detection equipment is right for a particular home, and so on. And in other sessions, we'll talk more about what those, what the exact design of a home security system would be. But just at a high level right now, what I will say is all the doors would all get contacted with a door contact. That door contact can either be a magnetic one, a magnetic switch that has a magnet on one side and a sensor on the other. They could be a push button type, which has a plunger that depresses when the door closes. And those are the two main types there. And those would be put on all the exterior doors of the house for sure, and maybe more. Those same sorts of sensors could be used on windows. If a window opened, you could detect that opening of a window. Windows in general are handled in a couple of ways, 3 to be exact. One would be a magnetic sensor or switch that detected if the window was open. What it doesn't cover is a window that was broken and somebody climbed through. So in that case, there are two ways to protect it. One would be a glass break detector. A glass break detector is a microphone that listens for the sound of breaking glass. And so you'd place that in a room. It has a radius of about 15 or 20 feet, so you could cover a good-sized room with a glass break detector and all the windows in it. And at the sound of breaking glass, the sensor would go into alarm and notify the control panel. Alternatively, you could use just a motion detector, and a motion detector is a very efficient way of covering things because it doesn't matter how you got in the house. If motion is detected, the motion detector is going to go into alarm and signal that to the controller as well. A motion detector watches for heat in motion, so it's going to be looking for a person moving around in the room. Most of the motion detectors now are pet friendly or pet immune, which says that there's going to be a weight limit given, maybe 40 pounds or even 60 pounds, that says anything under that weight, that as long as it's walking around on the floor, is not going to be picked up by the motion detector. Times where that's a little tricky is when an object isn't on the floor. Cats, for instance, are notorious for not staying on the floor. You don't really want to point a motion detector at steps, because when your animal is walking up and down the steps, it might trip a motion detector falsely just due to the fact that they're no longer walking around on the floor. But in general, those are the ways that windows are covered within the house. There's a lot of other detection equipment that could be put into a system. You could put smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, flood detectors, all of those as additional detection equipment that handle other conditions within the home to give you peace of mind that your home's being watched even when you're not there. And finally, you could fit the system with panic buttons. Those are good. Perhaps you put one on the nightstand so that in the event that you hear a sound, maybe you forgot to arm the security system, but you feel like there's somebody near the house or so on, you could depress that panic button, sound a siren to hopefully scare them away, and be calling help at the same time. So those are the basics of what a home security system is. There are a variety of different form factors of keypads. The modern systems today usually have a touchscreen keypad, and many of them have the ability to do smart home capabilities, such as turning lights on and off, locking and unlocking doors, opening and closing garage doors, turning thermostats up and down, and what have you. And then the final component of a home security system is video surveillance. Video surveillance can be as simple as a video doorbell to see who's at your door, or cameras around the perimeter to look at key areas that you want to surveil when you're away from the home. So that's kind of the basics. If you have any questions, just post them below, and I'll get an answer back to you on that. But I'd like to open up a dialogue and answer any questions that you might have, and help you make a better choice, a more informed choice when it comes to protecting you and your family.